At 5:30, Mayor Brett Smiley joins us now to talk about what's going on in the capital city. Hard to believe it has been a month since the tragic shooting at Brown University, and then protests against ICE are now popping up in Providence. We have a lot to get to. Mayor, Happy New Year, first and foremost. The last time I saw you, we were kind of in a bit of a chaos.
That's right.
As was the city. 1 month later, you announced yesterday you're hiring an outside consultant to review how the city responded to Brown. You were front and center on this. What do you think, based on what you saw, the city did well and the city can improve on?
Yeah, so we've conducted our internal reviews, and I think one of the initial conclusions is that the initial response was very strong. From that first 911 call, we now have time-stamped timeline. It was 80 seconds from the call to dispatch and under 3 minutes to arrival, so less than 5 minutes from the phone call to the arrival of the first officer, and then from the arrival of the first officer to the last patient to make it to the emergency room was just 13 minutes. You're not going to do better than that. It far exceeds a national standard. I think we all should be really proud of the initial response. Some of the things that we're going to take a hard look at that we've heard some feedback on, and we talked about this during the tragedy, there were residents who had wished they had received better notification. We're going to look at other options for how to do that better. God forbid something like this ever happens again. And we're going to ask all of the hard questions. I think it's important that we have an unbiased third party do this so that the public can have some confidence that we're not just closing the chapter and moving on, that we're willing to look at the good, the bad, and the indifferent, and then we'll be fully transparent with the responses.
There was questions about whether that system which alerts neighbors was not really working at the time. Is that the status of it, and is that being looked into to be fixed?
Yeah, so we had two options at that time. One is our city's 311 notification system, but you have to sign up for that. And so people were frustrated that they didn't get a 311 notification, but they had never enrolled for it. So there's a real shortfall there, right?
Exactly.
The other option is emergency management at the state level has the ability to push a notification for something like a missing child, an Amber Alert, or a hurricane warning. But I think we've all been in a place where those things go out and you hear an audible alert. It is not a best practice to use that during an active shooter situation because you might have students, and we did have students who were hiding, that it could disclose their location. And so we're going to look for other options somewhere in between those two options that might better inform the public without them having to enroll, but also not endanger anybody's safety. And so that's one of the things we're looking at right now.
So you've really done a hard look at not only yourself, but the city, and then you've gone to the point where you're hiring an outside consultant. How do you think Brown is doing? Are they kind of, in step with you in this process?
They are, and I think they're doing all the right things. I think hiring Chief Clements was a great decision. He's already announced some changes already. There's been camera and key card access and security personnel that he's made announcements to the campus community in conjunction with President Paxson. My understanding is that they're also going to do an independent review. So these are all the right steps, and we remain in close contact with one another, and I have confidence that they're doing what they need to do for their community. And the governor has been working with all of the colleges in Rhode Island to have them do a security review as well.
Right, and of course you don't speak for Brown University, so I understand that when I ask this question. But when we hear about adding more cameras and getting into buildings with pass keys, which we have to do here at Channel 10, I'm sure you have to do to get into your office, there are some parents who have reached out to me and say, shouldn't that have been in place prior?
I mean, there's all kinds of things with the benefit of hindsight that we're going to say at the city level, at the university level, anywhere else that we wished we would have done. That's the purpose of doing these reviews, is to be able to be honest and ask hard questions of ourselves so that we can do better. We, of course, never hoped and prayed that this day had never come in the first place, and we hope that it never comes again, but it might. And so that's why we're going to be fully transparent about the outcome of this review. I expect Brown will do the same.
Have you been in contact with President Paxson?
I have.
Pretty regular?
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to ask you a little bit about what you told Molly Levine last night, and which we broadcast last night about the and I don't have the word for it right now, but the center where all the universities are in touch with Providence Police Department. Currently only Johnson and Wales is. And you were asked the question about the real-time crime center. She asked, will they be mandatory? And you said, no, but I expect them to be. I want to just kind of talk a little bit about, for people who are seeing this for the first time, what is it, and you want all the universities on board for this?
So this past July, we launched the city's Real-Time Crime Center, which is something that exists in many cities around the country. Honestly, Providence was a little late to the party. These things have been around for years, but I pushed it to conclusion, opened it in July. It is used to solve crimes after the fact. It is not surveillance. There's no one sitting in a room watching monitors looking for someone suspicious. But after a call comes in, we activate this system and see where there's cameras nearby, and it helps us bring individuals to justice or provide support to victims more quickly. At the time, we reached out to institutions, the hospitals, the colleges, and private businesses, and encouraged them to participate. What that means is they have to install a device on their camera system which shares their camera feed with us.
Right.
We don't store that data.
Right.
It's only when we activate it.
Right.
And
So if
it's
something
not,
happens,
it's not kept.
it helps the Providence
That's right.
Police work with them.
Right.
Are you basically, when you answer yesterday, and I played it over again last night, are you requiring no, but I expect?
Yeah, they
you
should
want
do
everybody
this.
on board in the
I
city.
want everybody on board, and to your previous question, I think with the benefit of hindsight now, I think everyone maybe is thinking about these questions a little bit differently than they might have been thinking about them in July when we launched, and it is my expectation that all the colleges will come on board. Johnson & Wales went first. I'm grateful to them for doing that, but I think we are all a safer community if everyone participates.
Let's move on to ICE protests. We had a couple recently in relation to what happened in Minneapolis. In terms of in the city of Providence, have you been aware of any ICE arrests lately?
Yes, I mean ICE has been active in our city forever. Since the Trump administration came into power, the ICE activity has increased. We've talked about a few of those incidents, and ICE continues to act in our city. We have not had a large-scale deployment like what's happening in Minneapolis, like we've seen in Chicago, LA, and some other cities. I hope that doesn't happen, but right now we do have targeted ICE enforcement that happens in the city.
Yeah, and we saw that a couple of months ago with the car crash that was involved,
That's right.
et cetera.
That's right.
All right, Mayor, they're telling me to wrap, so I have to do so, but I appreciate your time as always.
Thank you.
And nice to see you again.
You too.
All right. Coming